What It Takes Radio brings you another edition of our flagship program, which is Interesting Ideas. And today, yes, I do. I give thanks for the good folks who work the graveyard shift. And let me tell you why. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and this is Stan Houston with another video edition of Interesting Ideas. And this program is kind of a somber note. This is what is called Maundy Thursday, which is in the Holy Week celebration of the Christian tradition. I recently just put together a program which was aired just earlier this morning, today, on this Thursday. And it was the subject of same day, but it was called Bloody Thursday. And if you didn't hear that program, and if you want to know why, maybe you ought to check it out. It's right there, right next to this one in terms of the video presentations on the YouTube channel. What I'd like to talk about today is something that I've thought about a lot, but it really struck me with this boat tragedy. All of us have heard about what has happened, and that I guess they have now discovered two bodies, and they hope they can find the other ones, but they may not. But that led me to, of course, the topic that is right there. The irony of working the graveyard shift. Now, that's a term that's been around for a long time because I've actually worked the graveyard shift. And of course, the graveyard shift is a description is that, in effect, you work throughout the late night, early morning. You go to work at 10 o'clock at night and you work through the night till maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's not a very delightful shift, obviously. For most people, it's something they have to do. It messes up your sleeping and social schedule and all kinds of things like that. But of course, obviously, many people have to do that. That's their job. I had a friend who, as a young policeman, that was his job. He had two young children at home and it made for it, but he had the graveyard shift. And I do know that many people, when you go into the grocery store or many stores and you find out that early in the morning, all of the shelves have been, stocked full and everything looks bright and ready. Well, of course, that was because somebody was up all night, doing that kind of work. And I remember, as I said, that I finally got a job where I could actually make a little extra money. And it was a restaurant that catered to people after the bars closed at 1 o'clock. They'd come in and kind of eat and maybe sober up a bit. And the restaurant closed at 2:30. And they gave me a job where I came in and cleaned it up, from 2:30 to 5 o'clock. I'll be very honest, that job didn't last very long, but you gave it a try. And so I was thinking, these poor men, oh, what a tragedy, and for their family. But here we have an example of something that we should be very, very grateful for, that there are people who do that. And that's quite common now, that because of any places where there is heavy traffic, that the construction maintenance work is oftentimes done, when there is less traffic. And that means that the maintenance or the construction people, they work the graveyard shift. And that's what happens. All this is simply my way of expressing my grief and, in many cases, the gratitude that I and many of us should have. I am profoundly blessed. At night, I get to sleep. And I know how to sleep well, and I've learned that. And I'm an early to bed and early to rise, but during the night, the middle of the night, I am sleeping and sleeping well. And that is a great and wonderful gift. Um, really, most of us have discovered that if we take our health seriously, that the doctors who say, get a good night's rest, get 8 hours of sleep. And I remember one gentleman who actually made the case. His life was up and down and back and forth. He said, I made 3 fortunes and I lost them all. Now I'm trying to make a fourth one. But it was because his life was such a mess. And finally, someone just simply said to him, get 8 hours of sleep. What? What do you? Well, you can imagine the reaction. Well, he was desperate, and but he started to do that. And we're on the subject of transformation. He says it was transformational. It really was. 8 hours of sleep. Make a point of it. At the regular sleeping hours, changed his life. And so this is just a way to say thank you to those who work the graveyard shift. From one of those who has the luxury not only of working during the day, but because I'm a bit of an entrepreneur, maybe a full-scale one, is I get to choose my hours and I can work anytime. But I don't work at night. I sleep. So our thoughts and prayers at this difficult time, this is the Passion Week, and it's a week about death and mourning. Perhaps the families will, if there are people of faith, well, they'll celebrate in some respect that, death doesn't have to be the end of everything. And so that proverbial promise and prayer could come their way. But it doesn't help right now. So let's say a prayer for the families, and hopefully all of the bodies will be recovered. But there's a good chance they won't be, and that makes for such difficult closure for people. It really does. That they will begin the healing process. And also, right now, in your own way, say a prayer of gratitude and give God thanks that he's created people who are creative enough and wonderful enough to work the graveyard shift, and ask for special, special blessings on those men and women, like the men who died. They're willing so that you and I can go places, get things, have our work done, because while we sleep and rest, they are working hard. They're doing the graveyard shift. Well, best and blessings on them, and best and blessings on us all. I'm Stan Houston. We are, as you see now, a little different logo from time to time, live and on air with interesting ideas. And all the best and blessings to you. Take care. And we'll be back tomorrow with our transformation program. That's right. How we can be transformed and maybe be people who create transformations. Take care. Bye for now.